Hey guys, and welcome to your most must-see podcast on Wednesday night, the KB Show / TRC Talk. Welcome in everyone. We have Will, we have King P, we have Gia Shane, we have Guru, Calvin, and Ben tonight. How y'all doing?
Doing
Good.
good.
Doing great.
Good.
Good.
Where's old
Y'all
Dr.
ready to
Nick
talk
at?
some wrestling and everything else?
I'm ready. I've
Been a
been
great
ready.
day. So busy
You
day,
know,
great day, long day.
the only thing I can say today is God bless America, regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless, God bless America. Nope. Affiliations, just God bless America.
Yes, sir. I understand 100%. You got a question for us tonight, Will?
I do. I have a question. This one is one question, goes out to everybody, you can answer individually. Who was your favorite John Cena feud? Who did John Cena feud with that was your favorite feud? Kev Buckler.
Damn it. Um, I really loved the Umaga feud because I thought they had great matches.
That's
So
great. King
Umaga,
Phil in the house. King Phil, who was your favorite John Cena feud?
My favorite John Cena feud was probably The Rock. The
that's a
build
damn
up,
good feud.
the real heat that they had. The actual match itself was good. Everything was good. So probably The Rock.
Mr. Mr. Shane Powers.
I was gonna say The Rock too, but I don't know if they necessarily had. I'm sure they had a feud at some point, but I'll go with Kurt Angle because that's who he debuted against.
He did late 2005 and
He
in
did.
2006 he had a feud with Angle. Very good. Guru in the house. What do you got for the feud of John Cena?
Here, here's a shocker. Not a John Cena fan, shocker.
Yeah.
But the shockwaves going through the world. But the one I like is because it has my favorite ever in it. The Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless. If you would see him Punk,
Yeah, it was a
That was
good
a
one
damn good
too,
feud.
man. Very good.
was
Hell of a pick.
Mr. Calvin White.
Yeet.
Mm. I'm gonna agree with Kev, John Cena, and Umaga.
Yeah, that was a
Umanga,
good one.
A manga.
Yeah, yeah.
Umanga,
Umanga.
Umanga.
Armando Estrada. That's what he called him. Umanga. All right,
That's
Ben Bowman live from the hospital in the pillows. What you got?
The rated R superstar Edge.
Edge? That was a good one.
fuck
That was a
Edge.
really good one. You know, I think back to John Cena's feuds, and the one that just stands out above and beyond. You just, to me, you can't get better than John Cena and The Rock. And I know King Phil already said it too, but literally, even in my house, just outside my office, my bedroom area, there's a poster on the wall from WrestleMania 28, and of course WrestleMania 29 again for the championship match between Rock and Cena was phenomenal. You talk about two guys that didn't like each other, but sure as hell put together two major WrestleManias. The electricity inside of Sun Life Stadium, which I was there for WrestleMania 28, was incredible when those two went to battle, and it felt like probably the biggest feud, the biggest fight, the biggest match I've ever attended. And I've been to WrestleManias, I've been to house shows, I've been to Raws, I've been to other pay per views, and I just there was nothing like it. So John Cena and The Rock was for me like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. It was that big. It was humongous.
Awesome.
So so that's what I got.
All
Yeah.
right, so I got a question I want to run around the room that, you know, several of us are big, Lex Luger fans.
Yep.
So, you know, Lex has had his past. He's, now in a wheelchair, and, he's a great guy to meet. If you've never met Lex Luger, go up and talk to him because he'll talk to you. So I think that they haven't put him in the Hall of Fame for a reason, and I think it's because of all of his past, accusations, drug users, or whatever. So saying that, should he go into the Hall of Fame?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking everybody. I want to go around the room.
Absolutely. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think what prevents him from getting in the Hall of Fame doesn't have anything to do with drugs because there's so many drug addicts in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's like a cartel of drug addicts. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I would say it has all to do with Elizabeth and how people
Um,
view that he was 100% responsible for her passing, which is very controversial. Was he? Was he not? I don't know, but I think that's what it is. I think you will see him go in, but I fear for him and I fear for the fans that you'll only see him go in after he's passed away.
yes. Post. Yeah. All right, King P. What's your opinion on that?
Uh, I mean, it's hard to say that he wouldn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. The only reason why I would say that he wouldn't is just because he had I don't know, really, his run in the WWF maybe wasn't as big as it could have been, should have been. But he deserves to be in, so I figure they'll let him in at some point.
Well, I kind of agree with Will. It's a very controversial thing, and I think it's the Elizabeth. I mean,
Yeah,
was he? I mean, he didn't make her, but then again, he was there. I mean, people have different opinions, and that's something that we can debate at a different other time. But I think that's the main reason is the Miss Elizabeth situation, in my opinion. Shane, you have a opinion on this, buddy? You're muted.
I think he was a great wrestler. I think he deserves to be in there. And I think Will's right. I think it's going to be like after, his time. But I think he should be around to see himself go in. But yeah, I think he deserves to be in there.
yeah.
Well, didn't Lex say that if they would put him in, he would walk across the stage?
I
Absolutely, he
believe
did.
I did remember hearing that.
He did.
All right, Manuel, you got an opinion?
I do. Probably not a popular one, but I have
No,
one.
brother. It's what
Oh boy,
we talk about different stuff here. So
Um, did he have a Hall of Fame career? Absolutely. Does he deserve to be in? In my opinion, no. If you put him in, you got to put Chris Benoit in.
ooh,
Dude,
I
Chris
know.
Benoit's accolades. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Well,
Look at Chris Benoit's accolades. You know, if I think if you put, I think with I might will with Luger going in, it's all about how Liz was treated, and that's why I don't think they will put him in while he's alive. And I think Chris Benoit will never get in just because of what he done. But I feel that some fans probably feel like if he goes in, you have to do you make a mention for Chris, and that's a subject nobody wants to touch. Which is fine, but I mean it's almost a catch-22.
yeah. I mean, well, I mean, if you can, I don't mind touching it if as long as it's handled good and not out of control. But I mean,
Right.
you made up a great point. But yeah, that's
I,
the main thing. Go ahead.
I'll touch just about anything once.
That's what she said.
so never mind. Go ahead, Calvin.
No, you going, bro?
Go ahead, Phil. Go
Well, I
ahead.
was just gonna say, so do you ever see Chris Benoit getting into the Hall of Fame at any point with Vince not in control anymore? Is it
Never,
No,
too far
never,
gone?
Nope.
never, never.
Okay.
But
it's
but
the
okay, now that you open that can of worms, because Guru threw the ball to
Yeah,
everybody,
he
right?
threw it to me. I had
let's
to.
He
go.
threw
We
it.
can go.
He
We
threw
can
it.
go.
Just what if Benoit didn't do it?
So
I, I
I
personally,
thought that Benoit
I
didn't do
personally
it.
think he can do it. Me personally, I think someone
I've
did
kind
it.
of put it on. I've kind of put it on Sullivan. To be honest, and I've looked into it. It's two of the most controversial things I've looked into would be the Chris Benoit murder. The murder slash suicide and Owen Hart. I'm pretty sick on the Owen Hart thing. I looked at it one time as a receipt for breaking Stone Cold's neck, so that's kind of a whole nother topic for another day. But those are my two biggest wrestling conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories in
I
general.
truly, I've said since it happened, I said that I don't think I don't think. Yeah, was Chris crazy? Absolutely, probably was. CTE, absolutely. I mean, the man's head was a human pincushion for years, headbutts and chair shots. But do I think he killed his wife and his child? Absolutely not. I mean, I've watched the shoot videos with Chavo and all them, and the one thing they always said was he was crazy, yes, but he still loved his family.
Yeah, that's
Another
I
thing
think that
too,
too.
because now we've already thrown this whole can of worms open, right? If this
Yes.
was something that was going on, how come there's no history of domestic violence there whatsoever?
Yeah,
Right.
Generally, when you see situations like that, you see a tendency of
Pattern.
escalation. You see
Yeah.
escalation, but there's no escalation there. It just all of a sudden was one weekend. The man was a champion. The man was making a ton of money. He was scheduled to appear at a pay per view that weekend. And I'm gonna say this one last thing. I swear to God, I'm gonna mute after this because
Talk as much as you want.
it's touchy. But how many of us have seen the ex mafia guys talking about the football players that gambled and all that stuff? And I think there's always a possibility that it had to do with gambling, and it had to do with financials, and it had to do with people he may have owed money to, whether it
Okay.
was for drugs, steroids, gambling, anything else. And anybody can make anything look like something, and it's not. And especially, you're talking almost 20 years ago now. Technology wasn't then what it is right now. And
Mhm.
I think it was so much easier and faster to say, this guy did it, let's move on. Because within 24 hours, they went from, oh my God, we got to honor this guy, have a big memorial show, to in 24 hours later, we'll never mention him again.
Right.
That's pretty fast to come up with an assumption that somebody did something like this when we've had court cases that were a whole lot more clear, where there was evidence found in the suspect's own bedroom that dragged out for years. And yeah, I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention it.
Right.
But I just am saying, why was there no escalation, no pattern of escalation there? That's all. That's it. I'm not saying
I
anything
mean,
else.
if you talk to the neighbors and everything and the family, I mean, there was no abuse by him. I mean, there was no, they didn't fight bruises. That was the only escalation. And Dan Gleason, I like this comment because he put only way Benoit gets in is that if they ever found out he never did it and it was Kevin Sullivan the whole time. I still don't think he gets in if they find out it's Kevin Sullivan because Kevin Sullivan isn't here to defend himself.
So
And,
so
he's passed.
so I'm really curious about this. I was really curious about this case. So I've dug deep, like in a hole, and I found a YouTube video of like the actual detective who was the lead. He's retired now on that case, and the lady who bought the house after they sold it. And the detective on the case has a really chilling theory of it that makes you think that it was either a setup, like he got set up, or B, someone purposely did it on purpose to I mean, I mean it's like a 3 hour long video, and I went down a rabbit hole one Sunday just because this guy had nothing else to do. But I mean, it's just one of those things that a lot of wrestling fans don't like to touch. Paul Heyman had a great response when a fan had seen that video that he did when a fan asked him about Chris Benoit. I mean, it's just one of those subjects that wrestling fans don't like to touch.
Well, we'll touch it here because we respect each other enough to the other opinions. I mean, we respect opinions,
But I
but
think in
if
the
you
ring
if
he was
you really
handling.
want, you can look up what Chavo has to say. I mean, if you
Yeah,
want to know anything, Chavo, you know, he tells you he's like, we got these. Not only me, but I forget who else he said got some weird, text messages like the dogs are in the garage or why is he texting me that the dogs are in the garage. So,
but as far as in ring ability, I'll put him up against anybody in the ring. He was a technician.
hey Chuck, hey Richard,
I
yeah,
I love
exactly.
I loved his in ring ability. I loved his in ring style.
Yeah, well, when Paul Heyman went off on that kid or whatever, he said, in ring technician, Pop, loved him to death. But then, then Heyman but went off. But I'm glad we touched on that subject. That's even Owen Hart. Will he ever get in? I don't think they'll. I don't know.
I don't think they'll ever put him in.
I mean, they want to. I think it'll be left up to his kids
I
after
think I
something
don't.
happens to Martha, but I don't think they'll
Yeah,
let him go in.
Yeah, I don't
as
think
long
it's
as
going.
Martha's alive, I don't think Martha will ever let it.
But have you heard his kids' interviews too? I don't want to say she's brainwashed them because I mean they lost her father, but I mean there's so much on their side. They're anti wrestling. Period.
Oh
Both of
wow.
his kids are. So they don't really. I don't think they
And
want him to have
and another,
anything.
I feel like Brian Pillman should be in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely,
That
Pillman's
guy,
body of work. He's awesome, and I mean, if he didn't pass early, he would have really been something.
yeah.
I mean, because he was in the Heart Foundation, he really would have broke out, and he really would have been something. Unless his injury got worse because he was still, his leg was messed up, neck surgeries, his heart.
Did you
So
ever watch the story on Pillman about how he had like 16 surgeries on his throat, and that's why his
right,
voice was all raspy and stuff? And what a great in ring talent too, and a man that constantly wrestled with an injury and really helped push and elevate the career of not only stunning Steve Austin but Stone Cold. Because if you look at the situation in WCW 92, 93, the Hollywood Blondes, he made stunning Steve Austin look better and better, right?
right,
And
he did.
then you get to 96, Austin's kind of coming into his own a little bit, but without that first interview with Pillman on that pay-per-view and In Your House, I don't know if that fire for Austin takes off going into Survivor Series against Brett. So he
I
really, really
agree.
helped. He helped elevate Austin in a lot of ways, and very, very deserving. And what the hell is the reason he can't be in? Because he died from a drug overdose? I mean, you know how many other ones have had drug issues? So,
Exactly, and I mean that fight was just a couple counties away in Walton, Kentucky. They, and he pulled that gun. That's one of the top rated Raw moments ever. Dan Gleason says Pillman get in probably the next few years. He should. There's just no doubt about it. There's no reason that keeps him from it. The only reason that's keeping Owen from it, I mean, he would have already been in if it wasn't for Martha. So no, and Mike Riggs says, in his opinion, Bret Hart is one of his favorite WWE superstars. He's alive and well. And
Me,
fellows, question. Hey, we love Bret Hart. Well, a couple of us do. Anyway, me and Will especially do. He's one of our favorites. So,
poor Calvin and Ben. And we got y'all shot us coming.
hey, y'all want an opinion on it? Talk. If y'all got an opinion,
Are you talking about with Lex Luger?
Yeah.
anything. Lex Luger, Benoit,
So,
whatever.
as far as
Owen?
Lex Luger, does he deserve Hall of Fame? Yes. Every man, woman, whatever, you do stuff in your past that can be forgotten about, be forgiven for, don't matter. As example, one of the few things that Hogan has done that I disagree with, I'm not going to bring it up, but it caused him to get knocked out of his Hall of Fame from '05. Sure, some of y'all know what I'm talking about,
Hmm,
but he was forgiven, correct?
correct.
Let it go. Put the man in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, you got a hell of a point. Ben, you want to chime in on anything we was talking about?
Yeah, Lex should be in. Uh, the Hall of Fame's a joke on a lot of things. Like
Well, I,
there's there's more deserving people that deserve to be in that is not in. Like for example, remove Sonny. If you want to talk about a killer or whatever, I personally feel like she should be removed. Lex should be in. As for Owen deserves to be in. I don't know if it'll ever happen. Benoit deserves to be in. Don't know if it'll happen.
that'll
Uh,
never happen.
I know. And then Pillman's always the iffy. But like I said,
Yeah.
because I'll look at it as who's champions and all that. And like I said, there's a lot of deserving ones right now. For example, our guest coming up in December, Demolition deserves to be in. Bam Bam. I mean, there's a lot of ones that are well deserving. Hell, if you want to talk about women, Victoria. There's a lot of other ones that deserve to be in. Lex should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. It should have been, but just like I said, for them to have like other people already in there, I don't know. That's just my opinion. The Hall of Fame is what it is, but some of them are deserving, some are not.
So
I mean,
I'm gonna take that word what you just said
Yeah, me
because I'm
too.
gonna
Me
disagree
too.
with
When you're
you.
done,
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you because I don't think the Hall of Fame is a joke. I think I don't. They don't have a Hall of Fame, but I think that it's. I mean, everybody looks forward to it every year. Like you can call it a gimmick or whatever. I don't think it's a joke. I mean, people look forward. Especially fans, and there's some wrestlers that look forward to get into it. So
I'm
I
going to
just
try
think
to correct Ben's statement more than I am to disagree with him. I think what he meant to say was it's more of a popularity contest behind the
gotcha. Okay,
scenes
Hundred
than it is a
percent.
joke. So I think that's more what he meant. I
correct.
don't think it's a joke. I think every one of them, for the most part, that's in there deserves to be in. And I think once you establish a physical location like Canton, I think then you could give it a little more significance. But I think it's more now that Triple H is there, I think you'll see more guys that are more deserving to get in, and I think you'll start to see a longer list of people that are put in every year. What I hope they don't do is I hope they don't put in all these like posthumous mentions. Like I want to see the actual celebration of the career and all that. A lot of times they'll have like 10 different people and they'll post, humously just mention them and they'll post a little picture real quick and that's it. That's not deserving for anybody that has sacrificed and done the job. And they don't really do that in the NFL either. So I think they should probably take the lead from the NFL and learn some lessons. And I think that would really help. So,
I get what he's
yes,
saying because, like, even with like you know being inducted into like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or uh, Cooperstown and stuff like that, it was based on performance and career. And I'm not saying that a lot of the people that have been inducted don't deserve it, but like you had somebody like Coco Beware and Abdul the Butcher before somebody like Demolition or somebody,
Hey, don't
th-
diss on Coco, damn it.
no, I'm just saying like the
I'm
idea
messing.
of, you know, the idea of, yeah, it is a popularity contest because it was who can we get as the liners here to get people interested versus, well, this guy's been a veteran for 30 years and had fantastic matches.
But
It's all about
Mike,
making money.
yeah, Mike, we've talked about Vader. We all love Vader here. I mean, he was the best big man.
Vader
Next,
They
is
should
in the
have
Vader is in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, that's what I was
they
Vader's
saying.
should
in the
have
Hall of Fame.
inducted him before he died, way
But he's in
before.
the Hall of Fame. I saw that come across the screen. Somebody wanted him in. He is in the Hall of Fame. And there was a lot of good comments, Kev, that I think we missed going around, but we definitely got to go back. Hello, everybody that's in. Thank you so much for commenting. And
Okay,
we're
but let's
trying to
go
get
with
to them as fast as we can because do you think Leilani Kai should be in the Hall? Absolutely. WrestleMania, women's champion, great performances. She stood out in a time that was kind of post Moolah when Moolah was champion for like 27 or 28 years or something like that. Don't quote me. It may be more or less, but it was like some astronomical long time. So yes, Leilani, absolutely. And I've
all
met
right.
Leilani in person, not just at a convention, but she actually was at the very first signing I ever held with a talent. She was there because her husband was the promoter that helped me bring in the talent for the show. And what a wonderful person, what a wonderful individual. And yes, she deserved it. Jesse Ventura doing Saturday Night's Main Event. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Jesse Ventura is another one. You know why everybody hated Jesse Ventura? I mean, obviously the controversy with the conspiracy shit, but everybody hated Jesse Ventura in late WWF because he wanted to unionize and make sure that talent was taken care of when they got injured and that they didn't get just kind of thrown away and forgotten about. That's why everybody hated him. If you don't know, Jesse Ventura was very, very big on trying to take care of people, and that's why he got shit on. And if
That's
you
why
ever
Hogan hates
listen,
Yeah,
if you
Hogan's the
ever
one that turned him in.
Yep.
if you ever listen to Bret Hart talk about, what happens to talent when they're done, Bret Hart explains it like you're an old dog and your time is up and they take you behind the barn and put a bullet in the back of your head. And if you look at a lot of the talent that has just their lives and careers have ended in the company, that's not far off from the truth. So, and not just that company, but in wrestling in general. Look at Kamala of all people. Look at how horrible he suffered in his last years of life. He was, real bad diabetic, lost some limbs and everything else, and basically couldn't afford to live, couldn't afford to eat, had all kinds of things happening and going on. And what a tremendous individual person, not just a wrestler, but a tremendous individual person Kamala was. And if they were unionized, stuff like that would have never happened. So.
I agree with Mike. Samantha Irving is missed, but that's an opportunity. That she, that was her decision. So I'm glad Lillian's back. But I did enjoy some Samantha Irving when she was there. Dr. Nick, since you're just got here, I want to give you a chance to touch on the subject we were talking about. We were talking about Chris Benoit. What's your opinions on him? Should he get in? Should he not get in? Do you have any opinions on the conspiracy?
They'll never put him in for various reasons.
Right.
There would be such a huge blow up. I've always thought it was really fishy the entire time,
That's what.
just
Yep.
because of the scene itself. A lot of the evidence doesn't add up. The physical evidence doesn't add up. And not only that, but, they did discover that he had CTE. And there was a lot of weird things that led up to that. And I'm not going down that rabbit hole of blaming Kevin Sullivan. I don't think he had anything to do with it. The idea that he was upset that, Chris took Nancy away from him and all this kind of stuff. I wouldn't go as far as that. But I think that Chris made somebody angry.
Yeah, and I'm going to show a comment on screen that goes perfect with what Will was saying and what you're getting ready to say right here by Kevin Van Gouda.
Yep.
Dino Bravo.
He made somebody mad, and they took care of him and made it look like he did it.
Very perfect.
I don't think because of how much
just
he
for
loved his family.
Just for clarification, this is just our individual opinions. Just this doesn't have anything to do with the total group or the name of the page or anything else. It's literally just individuals' opinions because we're just stating our opinions. I want to make sure we throw that out there because
I do like the idea that WWE
I know somebody's going to say, look at these guys. They're saying,
Kevin Sullivan.
It's 2024, guys. We got to make sure we put the disclaimer out there.
I like the idea that WWE acknowledges him again.
I'm hoping people come into this chat knowing that we talk about everything and it's an individual opinion.
With his matches, and they didn't erase him from everything. I've heard his name mentioned, not like on TV, but like in some of the documentaries. They've brought out, some of it, but if me personally, I would not put him in because of the fact that it would be shit on. I think he deserves it because of all his accomplishments and the work and dedication that he put in. But I would not put him in it would be tarnished. It would be an asterisk. Basically.
And also shout out to Mike Riggs and everybody else in the comments. Great comments tonight, guys. Thank you so much for that.
I get that, but they put Jimmy Snuka.
That was a different time because Vince basically paid to cover it up.
but it's still out there though. You see what I'm
Oh, it
saying?
is. It is, but it didn't come to light until recent years, if you think about it. That came out, I mean, yeah, everybody knew about it, but that came out after he died, big time.
Right.
Like when
That's
he
when it started
died,
escalating.
it exploded everywhere
Well,
because he
guys,
got
I
inducted.
enjoyed this conversation. I mean, it's, I like to touch on some touchy subjects because, once again, like Will said, it's our opinions. It's not as a TRC group of whole. That's why we do this podcast. So, because everybody's different and we can share our opinions like adults and we can have a great conversation. And we just proved that we could. So, I'm going to go on and move on. We're going to move on to our topic for the night, and that is our top five Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series matches. Will, do you want to go first?
I would love to go first because I think I have some great ones. Just to mention Dan Gleason coming in talking about Dino Bravo and what happened there.
Yeah,
Great
Mike
point,
Riggs.
man.
And,
Great
yeah,
Mike Riggs, Chuck, everybody, Kevin Van, everybody commenting, guys. Thank you so much. Great comments. Survivor Series traditional matches. For me as a kid, I look back at traditional Survivor Series matches as, oh my God, they're putting all these huge guys against all these huge guys, and how incredible of a match it was. And I think in today's WWE and even AEW, TNA, all these different little things, I think they're missing out on that. When you've got elimination matches, even the war games that they do at Survivor Series, I think if they would switch that to an elimination style war games, you would get so much more out of that event. Now, as far as my top matches in Survivor Series, the first one I have to mention would have to be Survivor Series 90, the debut of the Dead Man. You
oh
know,
yeah,
Ted DiBiase, The Undertaker. You got Rhythm and Blues in there too. I mean, just a tremendous match against Dusty, the Hart Foundation, and Coco. What a tremendous match that was. That would be probably my first one. Second one's a little more kind of new generation. Would have been the bad guys at '93 Survivor Series. You had Razor, you had Macho Man, who was unexpected. You had the 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty against IRS, who really was a believable captain in the WWF in '93. IRS, Diesel, the model Rick Martel, and Adam Bomb. What a tremendous matchup that was. That would be my second one. My third one, I think, might shock a couple people. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come back to that one. My third one, even though it's not traditional, the first time they did Undertaker versus Hogan at Survivor Series '91, I know it's not a 4-on-4, but that match alone, the first time they did a world title match, was just absolutely tremendous. My fourth one, which would have been my third one, was the Survivors match at 90. A lot of you guys remember the Survivors
I
match at
do.
90. It ended up being Tito Santana, Hogan, and the Warrior against like five other guys. I know it was DiBiase. I think it was Barbarian. I can't remember everybody that was on that team, but what a tremendous matchup that was, and what a tremendous display of talent, between the Warrior and Hogan, who had just earlier that year main evented WrestleMania. So those are great. And then, of course, my favorite of all time is '93. Almost all you guys know that already. The All Americans versus the Foreign Fanatics. I literally, to this day, it's been 31 years. To this day, every year in November, I always go back and watch Survivor Series '93. I mean, a lot of times I'll just let Peacock play, Survivor Series after Survivor Series and just let them roll, and I'll catch matches here and there. But um, '93, the All Americans, Foreign Fanatics. Tatanka takes the bonsai, supposedly gets hurt, he's out, and all of a sudden you got the Undertaker added to the All Americans team. Pierre from the Quebecers gets hurt. You add Crush to the Foreign Fanatics team. If you look at that match on paper, it looks tremendous. And if you watch just that match from that card and watch it play out, it's absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So those would be my matches. And I know, again, Hogan Undertaker wasn't a traditional, but if you go back and watch that match, I think you'll add it to your list as well.
That's an awesome list. All right, Phil.
Uh, this was tough because there's so many different.
Yeah, exactly. It
Um,
was.
I mean, there's so many different ones. Um,
Mike
I
Riggs
don't.
had won the 2001 the winner take all team WWE versus team ECW/WCW.
That one's definitely in my list. I don't know if I really have a top five, but that match for sure, what Mike Riggs just said, is in there. The team Hulkamaniacs versus it would
Natural
have been probably like
disaster.
'92. Was it?
You're talking about the Hulkamaniacs versus the $1 million team with Zeus and DiBiase.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Zeus
that was a good that was a good
DiBiase
match.
and the Powers of Pain against Hogan, Jake, and Demo. Woo,
Demo.
that was a
Yeah,
good one. That was a good
that's
one.
probably that's probably like my that's probably my favorite one. I don't really have a list though. I'm not as prepared on that one. That's a tough question for real.
That's cool. Shane, you got something for us, buddy?
Well, you know me, I'm always busy, so I don't do my homework. But I was actually sitting here kind of going over it, and um I wrote down 1990, the Warriors, and like the versus the perfect team. I
Right.
thought that was cool. Texas Tornado, Warrior LOD, and then Demo and Perfect. I wrote down 91 because it was in Detroit. Jake versus Macho. And then like Will was saying, the Taker and Hogan match. I like Flair putting that chair in and Taker tombstone in Hogan on the chair. Um, I believe he won the belt too.
Right.
Um,
That's what brought up this Tuesday in Texas. Right.
LOD and Boss Man versus the Natural Disasters and IRS. That was a good match. LOD won that one. Um, and then 92, I wrote down uh, when Yokozuna just smashed the hell out of Virgil. I thought that was funny. And I also wrote down the Razor and Flair versus the Macho and Perfect match. I wrote that one down.
I
And
really enjoyed that match.
I also wrote down the Kamala versus Taker in that casket match. I thought that was a good one. Look how scared Kamala was. Like did the man, I loved his like facial expressions and his actions. That was really cool. And that the Sean versus Brett match too on that card was a really good match. So that was what I came up with in the last
So
half hour.
none of those are bad picks, man. Those are all great picks. The only thing I would say is that Macho Jake match that should have happened at Survivor Series. If you remember, it never happened because they both got suspended and had to
Right.
wrestle at Tuesday in Texas. But that right there, if they had led their teams into that battle, then you got to remember the Macho Man would have had LOD and the Boss Man on his team, and that right there would have just been a tremendous match. So, great picks. I really enjoyed those.
Chuck says
Thanks.
1987 Team Hogan versus Team Andre, and then 1989 Team Andre versus Team Warrior. Both great picks. Who we at? To Manuel?
I got mine here. So I'm gonna go
Let's
with
roll.
1990, the $1 million team, and the versus the Dream Team. I mean, how could you not? 1994, the $1 million team versus Guts and Glory.
Yeah.
Another 94, the Bad Guys versus the Teamsters. Of course, that's the breakup of Sean and Diesel.
Mm-hmm. That's my main
Uh,
pick there.
90 Team Canada versus Team USA. And I like that one because on Team Canada, Doug Furnace, Phil Fawn, they were so underrated. They were such great tag team wrestlers.
Dude, I
They're,
could spend a whole hour on talking about those guys. They were fantastic.
I like them. They were just so underrated. And
And I believe
then
they were the only traditional Survivor Series match for the men on that card as well. I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
was. And then '95, the Dark Side versus the Royals.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Yes. Oh,
That's
mine's starting
currently
to
the Survivor
so
Series
much.
I'm watching now.
I loved it. The look on Jerry's face, right? So Undertaker gets tagged in. Jerry's over there in the corner talking. He turns around and he sees Undertaker coming at him with the mask, and he's all like, "Oh my god!" And he turns around to tag, and everybody's like hightailing it away. Nobody wants to tag in, and oh man, I love that match.
But Furnace and LaFawn came from, of course, you probably know Manuel being a fan of it, ECW, the original
Yeah.
one. That's where they had done their craft, and they had come up there for. It wasn't Furnace. What were they known? It was Furnace and Dan Crockett. And then when he came up to WWE, they changed his name to Furnace and Phil LaFawn.
Also, with Chuck's comment about Team Andre and Team Warriors. So in '89, it was the Heenan family versus the Warriors, and it was supposed to be Tully Blanchard in the match, and they fired Tully, and Bobby ended up having to wrestle in that match, if you guys remember. And that was a tremendous match there. Of course, Warrior finally got his hands on Bobby, and what a great moment that was. So, the Heenan family versus the Warriors was a good one, and also too. I can't remember for sure, but I think it was 90, not 89. I think it
Welcome
was
to Larry
90.
Walker.
The entire Warriors team, everybody on that team has passed away now. The team was Shane just talked about it. It was Warrior, um, Texas Tornado, and the LOD, and they've all passed. They're all gone. That entire team's gone.
Okay, real fast. Kevin Van Gatter, one of his favorites as a kid was Roddy Piper and the Bushwhackers and Jimmy Snuka. So the guys cracked me up with the turkeys. So appreciate your comment, Calvin. My man, what you got?
Didn't
So
they face the Rudes Brood? Isn't that? I think it's what he's talking about. They faced the Rudes
Yeah.
Brood, right? That was a good match, man. Go back and watch it.
all right, so my first one, more recent, 2014, Team Cena versus Team Authority, with the appearance of Sting.
There you go.
03 with Team Austin versus Team Bischoff. Oh, 1990 Dream Team versus $1 Million Team. And then 87 Team Andre versus Team Hogan. And then I'm gonna go with 89 the Heenan family versus Warrior.
All right, fantastic picks. All of these have been fantastic picks. I actually love this to pick and everything because it's a hard subject. I love to give hard homework. So sorry, guys. All right, Ben, you up?
You know what I'm surprised no one said tonight was the vignettes. God, what are you thankful for? The polka dots. What I mean, that's classic when I think
Ben, you got the Dusty Rhodes one, right? What about Teddy's in '87? What am I thankful for? I'm thankful that I'm rich and you're not.
Right.
I'm thankful for being absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Man, those were classic. I mean, you watched the out of the first or second, I think it was the second Survivor Series when they did those. Yeah, or third one. Okay, I knew it was one of the earlier ones. I knew it wasn't the first one. But yeah, those are great. But as for traditional Survivor Series teams, which a lot of people have already said the ones that I chose. Of course, started all Survivor Series 1, number 87, Hogan versus Andre, Team Andre, and then Soul Survivors, Andre the Giant. And that was a really good one because it come down to Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow versus Andre, One Man Gang. And, that come right down to the end. And actually, Bam Bam was the one, the face, One Man Gang and the Giant, and they were like giving the predictions of what's his odds of beating Andre? And they said, well, the healthy is 150 to 1. But with, right now it's 50 to 1. And yeah, so they're giving the odds. And like I said, that one, first one was my number one. Then we're going to go, probably the Dream Team versus Money Inc. Hogan's Jake and Demo versus Powers of Pain, $1 Million Man, and Zeus. Which we got me. I know me and Will's got the completed one of Money Inc. signed, and then working on and Kevin and working now on the other side for Hogan, Jake, and Demo. And then number 3, of course, probably my favorite, same there as Will's, 93, the All Americans versus the Foreign Fanatics. Soul Survivor, Lex Luger, that was great. And then you see the Undertaker with the U.S. flag, on under his robe or under. That was probably my third. And then we're gonna go Team Alliance 2001, Team Alliance versus Team WWE. I enjoyed that. That was actually a good pay per view. And then the last one, because where we had to pick traditional, Team DX versus the Spirit Squad. That'd be my last one. But if I had to do individual matches, just to give some the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar in 2016, where it lasted really quick. Love that. Bret Hart versus Diesel 95, where you see Diesel starting to turn bad. Those are some extra ones that I watched today that I really enjoyed.
We'll let you say that, but we don't give you extra credit.
To be honest, I would have picked that Brett Diesel match too, but I really tried hard not to go anti-traditional. But that Undertaker Hogan, man, how can you not throw that in the list?
Yeah.
So I would have picked that exact one too. Excellent lineup. I love it.
All right, Dr. Nick.
All right, I got them on my iPad here. So one of my favorites, obviously I wasn't old enough to see it live, 1987, but it was one of the tapes that I would rent at Blockbuster. And it was Randy Savage. Hold on, let me see if I got this right. I had these typed down. I want to make sure I have them right. Oh, yeah. Andre, One Man Gang, Bundy, Butch Reed, and Rick Rude versus Hogan, Orndorff, Morocco, Patera, and Bigelow. To see those guys, especially with how big One Man Gang was at that time, I wish he had never changed his gimmick. I loved the One Man Gang gimmick. I loved it.
Oh, wow.
I just thought it was really cool.
Come on, man. You got to be a jive soul, man.
As much as I liked Akeem the American Dream, I just thought One Man Gang was cool. He had a mohawk.
He
had the jean jacket.
The African Dream, not the American Dream. The African Dream.
The American Dream, baby.
They did it to make fun. They made fun of the American Dream with him.
Yeah.
So
can you imagine Akeem? We love it.
And then I'm going to go all the way to 89, and it's Dusty Rhodes, Beefcake, Rooster, and Tito, the Dream Team, versus the Enforcers, which was Boss Man, Bad News Brown, Rick Martel, and Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
I thought that was, you had the heels and the faces, typical match, but pretty good. And then I really enjoyed this one. I believe they called it the Wild Card, when they had heels and faces on the same team.
Oh yeah, 95. I loved it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the introduction of Ahmed, kind of?
Yeah. Sean, Ahmed, Davey, Psycho Sid, Owen, Razor, Dean Douglas. I mean, all those guys were hot. So to put all those guys together was, definitely good for that year, it being, the new generation, 95. And then to go more modern, I picked 99, Godfather, D-Lo, and the Headbangers, the Dudleys, Farouk, and Bradshaw. It was a decent match. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. Uh, you know, 98 was, of course, the tournament. So, that one was, I didn't really care for 98. So, uh, then I think I'm on 4 now. I think so. Of course, we've already said it, but I picked this one too. 2001, you had Team WCW versus, Team WWF. Then you had all those turns at the end where Angle screwed over Austin, Rock, and Jericho. With it being when they were, acquisitioned, it was huge to see WCW guys and WWF guys go at it against each other. I mean, we had never dreamed of that ever happening. And then for my last one, I had to go all the way back to 97. Billy Gunn, Jesse James, Henry and Phineas Godwin versus the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks. I loved Henry and Phineas. I always thought they were entertaining as hell. I loved the Roadie and Billy Gunn. So, it was just a fun, entertaining match. So anytime you had guys that you really enjoyed, especially, the Godwins, I thought, I mean, it wasn't the best match in the world, no. But me being a kid at that point, I thought it was fun as hell. So even being, almost 40, I can go back and watch it and still have a good time. So those are my top 5.
Almost 40, man. You're like a freshman, almost 40.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing for sure though. Nick brought up a tremendous point about that wild card match. I was sitting here waiting the whole time to see who would mention that because I didn't bring it up this time. But I think that's a tradition they should have continued. That wild card match was really phenomenal.
Yep.
I appreciate everybody's opinions and picks. Those are fantastic, and we're going to go into show and tell.
What
Hey
about your
Kev,
pick?
we had a couple comments pop up real quick. Make sure we get those comments in.
Yeah,
And
I thought
I
I'd.
saw Van Gouder. Did you guys
Yeah,
ever
he
watch?
said, he
Yeah,
said, did you guys ever watch Bad News Brown? Every time he was in a Survivor Series, he did
Yep.
not want to be in one.
absolutely.
Did you know that that wasn't actually a sewer rat? It was a possum?
I'm sure. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Mike
Because
Walker says
because
Sean
did you
Diesel
know
Owen.
did you know that for some reason possums don't get rabies and that's why?
Mhm. They can also repel snake bites.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Larry
Did you
brought up a
know?
good
Did
one.
you
That's
did you know a
that's
possum
another
can
one I was
really?
thinking about.
Did you know a possum makes great music?
Yeah, he does. Old George.
You know, y'all ever had possum stew?
No.
No,
Granny on Beverly Hillbillies could make a mean one.
that's some Kentucky backwoods shit.
Yeah. Larry Walker brought up the Teamsters versus the Bad Guys. That's a great one
Right.
too.
Yeah, that was on my list too. I just couldn't put them all together.
We saw your comment,
Some-
Brian. That's all.
Yeah,
I showed
we
it
saw it.
briefly. All right, guys. Here's. I'll do mine real fast. Here we go. Got this in. I'm being a big Sham fan lately, so let's try to get this on here. But Bailey signed Sham.
Oh yeah.
Got that from Will. That thing is fire, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I love that. That's going to be a pride in my collection. And
Hey
then,
Kev,
speaking
is
of
that
Sham,
Kev, is that an authentic sham or not?
you're damn right it's an
Yeah,
authentic Sham.
where's the stamp at?
Well, it's an authentic Sham. I guarantee that. It's beautiful.
It's a sham. Wow.
Sham wow.
Sham, wow.
Then my brother Calvin sent me this. You know, y'all know I'm not the biggest Edge fan, but look at that.
That's beautiful.
Now, why did I
Um,
send you that, Kev?
Because Tennessee beat Florida.
And there wasn't even no bet made. I just told you I'd
No,
send
it
it to
wasn't.
you.
On this
Calvin's a hell of a
day,
guy.
I see
We're glad
clearly.
to have him here.
That one's legit too, right?
Yeah, that
Yes.
it's very legit. I have several Shams, and you can once you get the sham in your between your fingers, you can tell if it's a sham or not. So, yep.
Yeah,
Have
we
them put
don't
a
we
stamp
don't
on it before it left.
we don't have fake shams around here.
No, we don't do fakes. All right, Will.
Yeah, my turn already. All right, I'm gonna make it quick, but I've got some great stuff. Let me get my PCO gear on here. So I already showed this. You guys already saw it, but literally, this is the first time I've opened this package. So you guys know it come with the Undertaker, it come with the Gooker. I've had this sitting on my shelf for probably a year plus. Brian Howarth would be so proud of me that I haven't opened it till tonight. This is the actual box that it came in. Tremendous box. It's a beautiful box. You would love the box. Let's see what else. You got the Gooker, you got the Undertaker. You have the actual display of the egg
Yeah, that's
that came
awesome.
inside the box. I mean, just tremendous. So again, I love it. I'm gonna, of course, show you guys how the Lord intended for figures to be. So
Yes, sir.
because of that, this beautiful Undertaker figure will be breathing.
TRC exclusive. Rip 'em.
That's right.
Yep.
Got to give it the old Hulkamania try, right? Look at that. Look at that.
You gotta love the sound of that cardboard.
That is a beautiful Undertaker. Guys, I'm going to pose them up. I'll post pictures in our chat later. But
Somewhere
man, I love
Roger's
it.
crying right now.
Brian, too. Brian's
Yeah,
crying, too.
Brian too.
Guys, I'm going to do a quick preview. I'm hoping the glare doesn't eat the hell out of it.
Oh,
Undertaker,
Damn.
legit Undertaker. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this coming Tuesday, we're in the month of November. It's all about Thanksgiving. It's all about being thankful. Please don't bid on it right now. Please don't start the bid. But I'm gonna start this legit Undertaker signed photo out at $1 on Tuesday. So that is just a little heads up preview for you guys.
Wow.
And
Damn.
the newest
Oh
Kevin
wow.
Nash signed Ultimate Elite. So of course you guys know this is the newest Ultimate. These took about a year to come out with everything that went on. The Outsiders Ultimates took about a year to come out from the time they first were previewed to the time they got released. So I have some signed ones in the collection, and I also have some loose ones to display. Once I get them all displayed up and stuff, I will post pictures in the chat as well. But here we have this one saying 6-time world champ. I've never seen that on another Kevin Nash signed figure. I'm not saying they're not out there; they probably are, but I've never seen one. And then my traditional mindset of Kevin Nash as the Outsiders inscribed Bash at the Beach '96
Oh,
Kevin Nash,
awesome.
because this, of course, is the attire that Nash wore at Bash at the Beach. So
that's going up Tuesday night, right?
Possibly,
Right.
possibly.
Not that
So
one.
that's my
Oh, both?
mindset. You never know, Kev. You know how it is. So that's my mindset on those guys. And I think that's all I'm going to
Damn.
show tonight. I think that's all I'm going to show tonight. So
Guys, that was an
thank
awesome preview. Y'all got to tune in Tuesday night because damn.
you for your
Damn.
time, guys.
That's all I can say is to that preview. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Phil.
King Phil.
So let's see. Shout out to TRC. I got me a
Woo.
Rocky Johnson.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Got the glare off there.
that's fire.
Love Rocky.
you can still get Tony Atlas.
I
Yeah,
know
you
it. That's
can.
what I'm saying. I got to finish this one off. Definitely got to finish that off. But that's me. That's my one and done.
Like it.
All
Like
right,
it.
brother. Tony Atlas was running around Charlotte in a Superman outfit.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
well,
pretty
that's true.
awesome.
That's a true. Hey, that's a true story. That's no bullshit. That is a true story.
Yeah.
Cape and all.
Sure was.
Cape and all.
Cape and all. Shane, my brother.
I don't have much, but I got this cool little dime that I opened up the other day,
I love
and
that.
I got
Shane.
a
Shane.
little.
Hey, Shane. You know,
Yeah,
prison changes a man, Shane.
that it does.
Those knuckle crunches are cool.
Check out this
That was a
cool
big pickup
Sergeant
right
Slaughter
there.
I got from Ben.
At ease, brother.
And Ben was nice enough to pick this up for me when he was out doing some shopping. So shout out to Ben
Nice.
Bowman. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome,
Pretty
brother.
sweet. Added to the collection behind me.
Sweet.
Rip it.
Rip
Yeah.
The way
Nah.
the Lord intended. The Lord, Shane.
Yep. That's all I got.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Let's see who we got next. We have Manuel.
So since we're talking about Survivor Series, I think I begged Will for this forever. Let me show you this bad boy.
You have.
Woo!
Who are you begging?
The OG, baby.
Yep.
That's a beautiful poster.
It
You
is.
damn right it is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now trying to get this bad boy signed, almost different story.
Never say never.
It's doable.
Never say
It
never.
is,
It'll
it
get
is
signed.
doable.
Yep, it'll get signed.
But for now, I'm gonna leave it as is.
Nice.
That's
That
all
is
I
a
got more
badass
than that.
poster.
That's beautiful, buddy. Thanks for showing. Calvin.
All right. So got
Oh, hell.
this.
Wrong one. Okay.
Got this beautiful Jake
That is a
from
beautiful
Will
cake.
Nice.
with the sign figure,
Hell yeah.
and then
Was that a bundle? Because TRC likes to do
yeah,
bundles.
yeah,
Awesome.
yes.
Hell yeah.
I did pick this up over the weekend.
Peppers.
This nice, beautiful Ula Fala.
I
Oh, I
love the
love it.
displayed it.
I love it.
But
Yeah, he had it over his belt.
Right?
Yep.
It looked tremendous. He had the main plate sticking out. I know he's had some pictures of it, so it looked tremendous.
had this for a couple weeks. Hadn't showed it. But there ain't but one thing to do
Hell
That's
with
yeah.
right.
Hogan,
I
Yes. Yes.
love it.
and that's to let it breathe.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it. I love
Gorgeous.
But
it.
that's all I got.
Thank you, brother.
Nice.
Appreciate you. Mr. Bowman. You got anything?
Ben by God Bowman.
Yes, I was trying to find the money ink, but I did not find it. Well, since tonight was, I guess, the traditional Survivor Series team. Let me flip this camera around.
Damn it, Ben.
Settings. Hold on, I gotta flip this stupid camera around.
Hey, I have someone tell too. Because
All right, so facing. There we go.
That's right, Marion, and we're gonna see your show and tell here in just a second.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go.
You tell your daddy I said so.
So right there's one which still get Ronnie Garvin bread on Hacksaw.
Nice.
This is my favorite. Still get Hogan on there. Hacksaw Tugboat. And then Will's the only other one I know. I had Ric Flair already added on, but eventually I'd like to add the rest of those guys. And then Marion's show and tell. She got Binks from Hocus Pocus. So
Oh, that's cool.
Thanks.
Cool.
Very cool, Marion. I like that. Very cool, Marion.
She says thank you, but that's all I got.
All
Hey,
right.
shout out to Ben. Shout out to Ben. I don't know where it's at. It's behind me somewhere on these shelves, but Ben actually helped me get that Ric Flair on there, and it came out just phenomenal. So, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you doing that. Dr. Nick in the house.
So I've had this for a little bit, but I picked it up a couple months ago. I was able to get it on clearance for like $20.
Oh.
So I got this.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
got that. I loved when he drove out
You gonna rip it?
during that. Not yet. It's got all zip tied and shit in
I
there.
got you.
But I'll open it eventually. And then I got another thing, which going through all the stuff that I have, putting this new room together, you find shit you didn't know you had. I got
Always.
this is still sealed in the bag. I got this at Squared Circle like 2 years ago. A Hulk Hogan bear.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Hey, I got one of
Yeah,
those.
these were
Hell
some
yeah.
of the merch stand items. I think it's pretty badass.
it is.
Those are
I'll
cool.
open that eventually too, display it. And the only other thing I got is, let me see if I can find it.
Nick, if you decide to display that,
Hmm.
then reach out to me, and I will tell you how to display it for like $7, and it'll
Okay.
look phenomenal. It'll look phenomenal. Trust me,
So,
because I've done it. Trust me.
all right. So I got one of my favorite wrestlers. I love this one. This is, of course, from TRC. Kurt Angle with the TNA Championship.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful blue paint pen. And Maria.
Love Maria. She.
Oh, I
Smoking.
love America.
Smoking.
Raise that flag. Woohoo!
All right. I appreciate all the show and tells, and we're going to end this. I'm getting ready to throw at the wheel, but I wanted to remind you all we have a Secret Santa going on, and sign up. We have I think 7 spots left, and I'm going to end that thing Friday. So if you want in, give me a yell and let me know. But I just wanted to push that a second because we always have a great time and fun with that. With that being said, Will, take it away, brother.
So absolutely, Secret Santa, man, it has been great every year. And let me tell you why it is so cool to enter Secret Santa if you haven't already, and even if you have. There's a lot of people out there, guys, that don't get anything on Christmas. There's a lot of people that don't get a present. They don't get a package in the mail. They don't get things. And your item that you send somebody could literally be the item that they open on Christmas. It's that important. It's that cool. You got to think of people. If you can participate, please do. If it's against your religious beliefs, then just ignore what I had to say. I'm totally cool with that. But as collectors, a lot of us have extra stuff laying around. It doesn't have to be a fortune. It
Yep.
could be something really simple, and it could really, really, truly mean something to somebody because, again, nobody wants to be that guy or girl in Christmas that doesn't get a package or doesn't get a present. Nobody wants to be there. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm 42 years old. Nobody wants to be the person that doesn't get anything. You still have that little bit of the kid in your heart and in your mind that you want to get something. Even though as adults we get stuff all year long, I get it, but it's so important. The next thing I want to get onto is the turkeys, guys. We are giving away by the end of this week. We will have our final decisions made. We're really close. We've already selected 2 winners of our free turkey giveaway. Totally free, absolutely free. You pay nothing. We are literally just giving you a Thanksgiving turkey to say we thank you, we appreciate you, and we love you. We care about you, and we would like to provide your Thanksgiving turkey this year for your big turkey day. So we've already selected 2. We've got 2 more we're going to select, and we're really close to selecting those. So it's super important. If you need a turkey this year, don't be embarrassed, man. Reach out, say, hey, you know what? I could really use a turkey. It would really help my family out. And I tell you what, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you get that turkey. So it's really important. It's all about taking care of people, and it's all about giving to people. The last thing on my
Love
list,
it.
it's November. It's November. It's Thanksgiving. It's all about being thankful. I know December is Christmas and presents and all that stuff, but being thankful sometimes you just got to reach on the old shelf behind you and give something away. It's just something that happens in life, and sometimes you got to do it. Excuse me, not doctor. Don't punch me in the face when you see me. King Phil showed his Rocky Johnson sign. King Phil, I will be sending you this absolutely free of charge in your next package. It is the
Awesome.
Rocky Johnson Elite.
Wow.
It is beautiful. It's going to go great
Nice.
with your signed photo. That is yours, my friend. And as always here in TRC, it's all about taking care of people. It's all about caring about people. And, it's just, we have such a great time doing it. And we appreciate the hell out of everyone. Guys, I'm going to end it on one note. Regardless of belief, regardless of party, regardless of affiliation, God bless America. Have a great night, everybody.